One of the most heartwarming reactions has been messages from colleagues, doctors who are in the northern part of Gaza, congratulating me on the results and telling me that they felt that their voices and their struggle is being heard halfway across the world in University of Glasgow.
Dr Ghassan Abu Sittah has been voted rector of Glasgow University with a landslide victory of 80%. A world-renowned Palestinian surgeon, Dr Hassan spent 43 days working in Al-Shifa and Al-Ahli hospitals at the height of Israel's aerial assault on Gaza last year. He studied at Glasgow University in the 1980s and 90s, which is why he was asked by students there to run a campaign to become the rector, a senior figure who represents student interests to the university management.
So we ran basically on an anti-war pro-ceasefire manifesto. We believe that Glasgow University should not own shares in BAE Systems, which is an arms manufacturer that has made money and has profited from the genocidal war in Gaza. We believe that the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism is being used to silence Jewish voices, anti-Zionist Jewish voices that are now really spearheading a lot of the action against the war in campuses across the globe. But also with regards to what's happening in British academia, the corporatization of universities, student poverty, all of these issues for me have always been interlinked. Britain's imperialist policies and its internal impoverishment of the population. And so for me, running on a single campaign that links all of this together was the natural choice.
Glasgow has long been a city of political and class conflict. Throughout the 20th century, the majority lived and worked in poor conditions, while it was also home to many merchants and slave owners that ran Britain's empire, which is evident in the person that held the same position as Dr Hassan between 1890 and 1893.
1890, yes, it was the anti-Semite and racist Arthur Balfour. Arthur Balfour was an anti-immigration, anti-Semite who had made his career preventing Jewish survivors of the pogroms from reaching the United Kingdom. And his support for the Zionist movement was a reflection of his desire to rid Europe of Jews. And so again, we find ourselves exactly in the same position, fighting the same political forces, committing the same kinds of genocide, the elimination of the native population of Palestine by a settler colonial project.
Just hours after Dr Hassan was announced as rector, newspapers ran articles accusing him of anti-Semitism, being pro-Hamas, and that Jewish students are fearful after his election.
We met with Jewish students as part of that campaign. And even those who we didn't see eye to eye with, the idea that Jewish students would be threatened by a democratic vote is an insult to the democratic tradition within Jewish society. At the end of the day, the struggle against anti-Semitism and the struggle against Islamophobia and the struggle against racism and gender-based discrimination is the same struggle, because it's against the same forces, the same political forces that are now allied with the Israeli state.
Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine!
Hassan hopes that he and the students that helped run his campaign can not only have an impact on university life in Scotland, but also in Gaza.
The Israelis have leveled all of Gaza's universities. Literally, they have carpet bombed the universities and have killed over 70 university presidents, deans, and professors. And so the struggle to rebuild Gaza's universities after what has been called a scholasticide, an attempt to wipe out the educational system in Gaza, is incumbent on all academic institutions especially those that have financially benefited from this war.